Hey, y'all, listen, it's Royaire and Diva. We in the building with a quick trending topics, y'all. That is bananas, okay? Breaking news, because Tony Buzbee, Tony likes to work on a Sunday. You know, they said the Lord rests on Sunday, but I guess Tony didn't get that message because on Sunday he works, okay?
Okay. He look, he said he get his coins 7 days a week, okay? All seven.
All 7 days a week. So Tony Buzbee, this is a refiling, a amendment to a lawsuit he filed earlier. So let me back up because this thing is so loaded. Loaded in a sense that if you've been following me, I've been saying for months now, when are the other people going to be charged? When are other people going to be named? Because Diddy did not do this enterprise, this empire, this situation solo. Now, am I saying that Jay Z is guilty? I'm not saying that because listen, I never 100% said anything about Diddy. Y'all know me. I always stay neutral ground. But y'all want to know what's funny? You want to know what's funny, Royaire? I stayed neutral ground and the people beat me with 20 sticks. They beat me down. But it was funny is when it come to Jay Z, they're like, hold on, wait a minute. We don't believe it's true. Tony Buzbee is a liar. Yeah, I got you. I'm going to get to Jay Z's. Thanks, Stephanie. I'm going to get to Jay Z, how he responded. I'm going to get to that. But everybody now saying that Tony Buzbee is a whole lot. But when Tony Buzbee said that Diddy violated a 9-year-old, the people was like, torch Diddy. They wanted us to dig a hole, kick Diddy in it, and bury him up underneath the jail. But now all of a sudden, because Tony Buzbee mentioned Jay Z name, Tony Buzbee is a whole lot. Ain't that interesting?
You know, we got a situation on our hands on this Sunday, okay? And, you know, I want to remind us all that, you know, we are live on both channels. So make sure you hit the like button on both channels. If you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell on all. And we're going to have a conversation. You know, we are in a tight situation tonight, man. You know, there's allegations that have been brought to the forefront.
Yes, come on now, talk.
We must remember, and this stands for, you know, Diddy as well, no matter what our feelings and opinions are, everyone's innocent until proven guilty. Okay?
Come on now, talk.
And so I really would like to see first the evidence that they have to roll out to include Jay Z in this situation. Now, we have seen and heard about Diddy's behavior for a very long time. You know, the streets been talking for a very, very long time about Diddy. And not to say that the streets haven't been talking about Jay Z, but they have been whispers for Jay Z. It's been loud racket for Diddy. And so now that this situation has come forth, you know, I'm interested to see because, you know, once something, most times when, in my opinion, when something is true, once one person opens up, then we have a multiple of people that begin to open up. And so far in this situation with the SA in our, you know, Hollywood and music industry has happened, you know, most of the times these individuals have had others speak up thus far, you know, about what they may have experienced with these individuals. And so
before you go on, let's lay down the great groundwork for you. Let's remind the people of some things, okay? Let me backtrack for one moment. When Ray J talked about how many people were behind the scenes paying off victims so that their name wouldn't be caught up in a lawsuit. With this particular lawsuit, Jay Z said that this lawyer, Tony Buzbee, has been trying to extort him for money and he wasn't having it. Now, let me remind you of this. We got a lot of key factors to throw out here, Royaire. Let me remind you of this. People said Diddy was stupid because he didn't settle with Cassie behind the scenes. And since he didn't settle with Cassie and the lawsuit was filed, even though he paid her the next day, They said it opened up the floodgates. They said it opened up the floodgates. So did Jay-Z open up the floodgates by allowing this to come out? Or is he smart for fighting for his name and not paying anybody? Because when you pay people, that perhaps may open the floodgates too. Now, I just gotta, before you share that, Royaire, let me share something. I gotta go back in time where Ray J talked about how.
Yeah, that's what I have pulled up.
Oh,
so
okay.
If you already got it, you can.
Yeah, I got it. Okay, so let's listen to Ray J. Now, before we even listen to Ray J, you gotta hear this girl where she said there was also a very well-named rapper there who we all know. Let's listen.
I was at one of P. Diddy's freak-offs.
You saw celebrities there that you recognized.
It was a rapper that we all know.
Straight up porn directed by Diddy.
I'm just grateful to have made it out.
I'm hearing about artists paying victims to keep their name out of it.
Do you know people who have had demands put upon them where they have paid off to keep this quiet?
Here's what I do know. People do catch and kills all day. And a catch and kill, I don't know if, of course you know, but for the regular world, somebody has the truth, somebody pays you to keep it quiet, and hopefully that money that you got paid secures your happiness while you watch the lie continue to succeed.
I want to just make sure I understand you. What you're saying is what? That you know people who have been approached by women, men, whatever, who have said, give me money and I won't talk?
Here's the other way around that, Harvey. I'll give you money, please don't talk.
Oh.
You are a well-connected guy. Do you know that what you've just described, is that going on now?
Yes. They want to talk to me. They want to talk to me about what happened to them. They call me. They feel like they can trust me.
Wait a minute. Calling you for what? Calling you for what?
Because they want to tell me about certain things that happened with them and Diddy.
Ray, I want to make sure I understand this. Are these high-profile people calling you because they've had some affiliation with Diddy that they don't want to come out and they think you might be the vessel for it coming out? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. And I don't even know why I just said it, but I said it, so what? Now they gotta be mad. Come get me.
Were they specific about what they did with Diddy?
I don't wanna say. I think I said too much.
Now, let's bring up to present day. Let me just get it to present day, then we're going to talk. Hold on 1 second. Let's get into present day here. Right now, catch and kill. So that Tony Buzbee tried to do that with Jay Z. Said, I got some information. You want your name to be left out of this lawsuit? Then you pay this girl. You pay my Jane Doe. You don't want to pay her? Then we're going to put your name in a lawsuit. And that's what Tony Buzbee did. So Jay-Z is accused of arguing a 13-year-old girl in the Diddy lawsuit. He says it's a blackmail attempt. So Diddy's lawyers tell TMZ this amended complaint and the recent extortion lawsuit against Mr. Buzbee exposes his barrage of lawsuits against Mr. Combs for what they are: shameless publicity stunts. So indirectly, if you're going to call Tony a liar, Tony Buzbee a liar, when it comes to Jay-Z, how can you say, oh, but he's telling the truth when it comes to Diddy? So you see how everybody is muddying the waters when it comes to this Diddy case, because we got too many liars out there. And you don't know the truth from a lie at this point. But let me continue. It said, shameless publicity stunts designed to extract payments from celebrities who fear having lies spread about them. Just as the lies have been spread about Mr. Combs, as his legal team has said before, Mr. Combs has full confidence in the facts and the integrity of the judicial system. In court, the truth will prevail that Mr. Combs never SA'd or trafficked any man or woman, adult or minor. So, of course, of course, Diddy's going to jump in on the bandwagon. I would too, right? So Jay-Z has been sued for giving a girl substances and arming a 13-year-old girl in a lawsuit tied to disgraced rapper Diddy, which the music mogul is calling a blackmail attempt. In documents obtained by TMZ, Jay-Z is named by the anonymous accuser who says the rapper and Diddy gave her substances and armed her back in 2000. The plaintiff, who was suing as Jane Doe, says the alleged assault occurred at an after party following the MTV Video Music Awards. Look at those two together. At one point in time, for a long time, they was thick as thieves. They were friends before Jay-Z had his locks, and they was friends all the way to Jay-Z grew his locks to where they are today. This was from 2019. Let's continue. The accuser originally filed a lawsuit against Diddy in October, in which she claimed the Bad Boy Records founder and an unnamed celebrity, which she has now named, proceeded to assault her, while unnamed female watched. Now, I have my theory on who this unnamed female is, because they saying that person is a celebrity too, but I don't want to say that person's name because it's breaking my heart, but I'm going to continue. Y'all let me know who y'all think the unnamed female celebrity is. And this unnamed female might have already paid the accuser, and that's why that person's name won't be named. The accuser has since named Jay-Z as the other celebrity in the alleged assault, as she refiled her lawsuit against Diddy to include the Empire State of Mind rapper on Sunday. And as I'm going to beat you. What happened, Ray? As I told you, these two were thick as thieves before Jay-Z started to grow them locks. Look at them. This is 2004. They've been friends on record here, because it's a picture from 2004, for over 20 years, over 2 decades. Now Jay-Z wants to be radio silence on this Diddy situation. Jay-Z reps have responded to the lawsuit with a statement from the rap mogul, who said he's determined to expose the accuser for the fraud. Oh my God. This thing is getting nasty. He said, my lawyer received a blackmail attempt called the demand lawyer letter from a lawyer named Tony Buzbee. What he had calculated was the nature of these allegations and the public scrutiny would make me want to settle. No, sir. It had the opposite effect. It made me want to expose you for the fraud you are in a very public fashion. So no, I will not give you one red penny. So Jay-Z is coming out fighting. He's not about to open up his bank account for nobody. He said not one red penny. He said these allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint. Now, Royaire, we've been saying this about the Diddy situation the whole time, and people want to say, oh, you can't victim shame. No, we said, if you had these serious things happen to you, why aren't you filing a criminal complaint?
Criminal complaint. And that's been my standpoint from even before all of this stuff with Diddy, even in the prior with the Bill Cosby situation. Like, I personally feel, and these are just my feelings, if something has been done to you, I would think I want to see a criminal act. I don't want to see money in my face, because in my opinion, money means that they can throw it at me and go back and do this to someone else. I want criminal charges, and I want you to be held accountable for the behavior that you have displayed. Go ahead.
Okay, come on, I hear you. Not a civil one. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. Would you not agree? God damn, they tearing this thing up. These alleged victims would deserve real justice if that were the case. The lawyer who I have done a bit of research on seems to have a pattern of these types of theatrics. Oh my God. I have no idea how you come to such a deplorable human, how you have come to be such a deplorable human, Mr. Buzbee. But I promise you, I have seen your kind many times over. I'm more than prepared to deal with your type. You claim to be a Marine. He said, Marines are known for their valor. You have neither honor nor dignity. He's ripping Tony Buzbee to shreds. My only heartbreak is for my family. My wife and I will have to sit our children down, one of whom is at an age where her friends will surely see the press and ask questions about the nature of these claims and explain the cruelty and greed of people. I mourn yet another loss of innocence. Children should not have to endure such at their age. It is unfair to have to try to understand inexplicable degrees of malice meant to destroy families and human spirit. Now listen, everything that Jay Z is saying is the same thing I've been saying about Diddy. We don't know yet truth from not truth. All I said is due process needs to happen. Let's continue here. My heart and support goes out to true victims in the world who have to watch how their life story is dressed in costume for profitability by this ambulance chaser in a cheap suit. Oh my gosh. You have made a terrible error in judgment thinking that all celebrities are the same. I'm not from your world. I'm a young man who made it out of the projects of Brooklyn. We don't play these type of games. We have strict codes and honor. We protect children. You seem to exploit people for personal gain. Only your network of conspiracy theorists, fake physicists, will believe this idiotic claims you have levied against me. That if not for the seriousness surrounding harm to kids, would be laughable. I look forward to showing you just how different I am. Woo! He messed with the wrong ones.
You mess with the wrong one. If you're going to come for the crown, you better be ready to defend whatever you may have in the clutch, because we coming forward and we coming forward strong. What we will not continue to tolerate is people coming at us because, and not to say it's because of money, but especially if it had nothing to do with this individual. I mean, if this is the case, there are so many other people that we could blame. Jay Z was not the only famous person, nor person close to Diddy during that time. So I need more evidence.
Let me finish. Okay, we're going to get into it. He continued, my only heartbreak is for my family, my wife, Beyonce, and I will have to sit our children down, one of whom is at the age, and he's talking about Blue Ivy, where her friends will surely see the press and ask questions about the nature of these claims and explain the cruelty and greed of people. I mourn yet another loss of innocence. Children should not have to endure such this at their age. It's unfair to have to try to understand the inexplicable degrees of malice meant to destroy families and human spirit. Diddy, who was arrested and indicted on charges of racketeering and S trafficking back in September, is facing a number of SA allegations across various lawsuits. He previously denied all of the accusations made against him. NBC News was the first to report the amended suit. Now, I'm going to tell you what the amended suit pretty much said. So it said that Jay Z took off her clothes, held her down. I'm giving you a summary. Held her down, Arthur, Diddy Arthur, and while Diddy Arthur, Jay Z and another female celebrity watched. And so when Buzbee came out with this lawsuit in October, it only named Diddy, and it did not name, it said another celebrity, but it didn't name the other celebrities. It just named Diddy. Now, let me say this Anna Kane, she also says another assailant, but she did not name that other person. The problem I'm having with these individuals is they're freely naming Diddy because he's the easy target, and it's easy for everybody to believe, yes, Diddy did these heinous crimes, but they don't want to name the other people. So initially, she didn't want to name the other person, but now because her lawyer couldn't bamboozle him behind the scenes and just get him to write a check, now she's throwing his name out there. Talk to me.
As you said, you know, I struggle, and I said this as well when the Bill Cosby stuff happened. If we're gonna come out and tell a story, let's tell the whole story.
Mhm.
Why are we, putting one person out here and then we're negotiating with another person to try to, let them scot free? If you truly feel that this individual has done you wrong, everybody across the board needs to be set up in the same position. The fact that, in my opinion, this individual waited. These allegations have been out for what, like almost a year now, Diva, right? I mean, we've been hearing about this. You've literally waited for a year later to go ahead and finally drop, the alleged next name that you said did these things to you. Now, I believe that in this story, this individual did say that she was under the influence of something that she was given, correct? This individual had been drinking, correct? Yes. So, not negating anything that this individual is saying, but how can we truly 100% know that these individuals are the ones who did it? And this goes for Diddy as well. How do we know, specifically because you were under the influence, and, we're not in a right frame of mind? How do we know these things? And how are you recalling these things so vividly after 20 years? Now, I do know when you have trauma and when you deal with trauma, some of that trauma you cannot let go of. You do remember very vivid details. But I really, really struggle with, this year wait that you have prolonged and dropping this second name. And then not only just waiting for the year to drop the second name, allegedly there are other individuals that are involved in this situation. So are you doing the same thing with these individuals, giving them the opportunity to pay up, and then you're going to, let them scot-free? Or if not, are you going to put them on the chopping block like you have done now yet again with a second person? I just have I have an issue with the delivery of how all of this is falling out and playing a part.
Thank you, K and J. We appreciate you. Hey, my favorite duo. I'm hoping Jay is innocent, but what if Puff threw him under the bus? Puffy, I said this in the beginning, but maybe now people will try to hear what I'm saying when I break down this case. Puffy is not giving up any names. He's not. He's not giving up any names. He's not giving up any names because he's trying to stand by the fact that he's innocent. If he gives up a name, that means admitting to that he's not innocent. Puffy don't want to send another 2 seconds, 1 second, or 3 seconds behind bars. I told people 10 times over, he's not giving up no names because as far as he's concerned, he's innocent.
He got enough going on behind the bars to be giving up names. He already doing enough other stuff. He don't have time to be giving up names. He trying to keep the business still going while he's behind the bars. So,
but let me say this, KW. The feds have the tape. I said this in the beginning too. Nobody wanted to hear me, but maybe people could start to hear me now. Them tapes don't have what they wanted it to have. If they did, all of that stuff would have been in the indictment. Those tapes are not showing what they wanted them to show. They have yet to see a minor on one of those tapes because if they did, it would have been an indictment.
Done for.
So you notice when the DA came out, he told the people, call 1-800 with whatever, if you've been violated by Biggie, this, that, by Diddy. Then Tony Buzbee comes out of nowhere and he has all of these minor victims. He has yet to file a lawsuit with the 9-year-old victim. Now, the 13-year-old victim, if you debunk that she's lying about Jay Z, how do you not debunk that she's lying about Diddy? The two can't work. The two can't work. That's why as soon as Diddy's law firm heard that, Jay Z is fighting back and calling Buzbee a whole liar and calling this 13-year-old maybe having a misunderstanding. But the thing is with Jay Z, he's coming after the lawyer's integrity. If he wins against the lawyer's integrity, You can't say that this lawyer was not credible when it came to Jay Z, but credible when it comes to Diddy. The two can't work together.
Mm.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I'm just being that they were. I would say that I would not call Jay Z and Diddy quote unquote friends, if you may. I feel like there has been, I mean, if that's the case, then we got to consider everybody else that is friends with Diddy to be in the same situation as him, correct? I just, to me, I see a professional relationship with him, but I don't see a personal relationship. That's just my opinion. You see a person.
I'm going lightly, Roy, because I know you love Beyonce.
I mean, for real, even this really don't have nothing to do with Beyonce, because Jay Z and Beyonce really did not get established until 2001. That's when they really started dating and being in a relationship. Now, they were known to be together in the early 2000s because that's when she dropped, became a solo artist, and they did mama, my song. And so they did that together, but Crazy in Love, Crazy in Love. But I don't think this has anything to do with Beyonce, in my personal opinion. I don't feel like that she was the individual, the female that they're talking about that was there. I do not see her being that type of person. I just really, really don't.
Sasuke and DD, I appreciate y'all. They are BFFs. They both have stated it. Diddy also stated only Jay and his mother call him Sean. Listen, everybody wants to distance themselves from Diddy now, but the thing is that all of these, they was thick as thieves. They were all hanging together, and that girl that's in the documentary for TMZ said there was a other big rapper who we all know that was at the party also. Now, do I necessarily believe that Jay Z did this to this 13-year-old? No, I do not. I think now, does that mean that I don't believe that Diddy has ever touched someone underage? I don't necessarily believe that either, because the rumors have swirled around for decades about him violating allegedly Usher and allegedly Diva, and we all know that they were underage at the time. So I don't think he discriminated. Listen, this thing is a hot flaming mess. And I think that you do have to be careful who you associate yourself with. You do, because they said birds of a feather flock together. And there's a lot of times, when I was growing up, but I'm in my 50s, Royaire, they was like, if they called it fast back then, if you was hanging with 3 fast girls, the boys automatically assume you was fast too. It's just the way it goes. Thick as thieves don't mean guilty. I'm going to need evidence before I start destroying Jay-Z's name. That's what Sandy Chance. That's what's interesting to me, and this is not towards you particular. When I saw the post under the shade room and all of that, people were like, "Oh heck no, Jay-Z would never." They say Jay-Z would never, but at the same time, there was rumors that Jay-Z got with Beyonce when she was under the age. There was rumors about Jay-Z and Foxy Brown. There was rumors about Jay-Z and Aaliyah. But now we want to say, and listen, I know everybody have their phase, but now we want to say Jay-Z would never. We don't know who would and who would never. What I'm saying is, though, it's interesting how we will cut one person slack, but another person we will cut no slack. Let me say this.
I think the reason that we cut Jay-Z so much slack is because we have not seen the type of behavior that we have seen from Diddy. Diddy has admitted himself on many of lives of being, having a monstrous side and being a certain type of person. Diddy has displayed the behavior of disrespect and being mean to people on national TV. And not to say that Jay-Z is not that, but it's a difference when you just flat out display the behavior versus, I guess hiding the behavior, I guess is what it is. But it has been shown multiple times that Diddy has behavior that is out of pocket and out of control. That's not something that we see often of Jay Z. I personally haven't seen it, witnessed it at all, in my opinion.
So here's the thing. And Sandy, I didn't say you did. I'm talking general here. So that here y'all gotta remember here's
general
the thing.
Conversation.
General conversation. We're just talking. But let me say this to you, Royaire. There has been rumors out there about Jay Z. Just because the rumors are low level and they haven't surfaced yet. Just like for decades, there's been rumors about Diddy. And now we see that those rumors were a little more heinous if all of these things that people are saying is true than anyone ever thought. There's rumors about Jay-Z and some chick being pregnant at the same time as Beyonce, and now that chick is no longer here. Mm-hmm. So what I'm saying is that it is interesting when a person is liked a little bit more than the other person. We can believe that the person that is not like, we don't need a whole bunch of evidence. We can believe they definitely is guilty of everything being said. And then the next person, because we like them a little bit more, then that person, we're going to wait for more evidence.
I think they were at the same level of liked, in my opinion, though. I think. I just really feel that, I've never heard of anybody saying that Jay Z has had them hung over a banister or tried to blow up their car. These are things that we continuously have heard, over this year alone about Diddy's behavior. We don't hear those things, about Jay Z. And not to say that he don't do them, but we just don't hear them as often and as heinous as this. And it's just continuous evidence that are stories that keep coming up with Diddy over and over again. And that's why I think people lean towards a little bit more of the guilty side with him, because there are so many other situations where he is viewed at in a negative way. We don't see that on a regular basis with Jay Z. And I feel like if the behavior was still prevalent, because let me say this, in the words of Phaedra, every saint got a past and every sinner got a future, okay? Everybody has done something that is wrong, and I believe everybody can grow. So maybe he's in a place where he no longer does some of the things that he used to do. I just can't say that for Diddy, because we still have people today saying things who are in the industry today, not back in the 2000s and the 90s, but today.
So I got to give this to you, Royaire. Diddy turned 50 5 years ago, right? Mm-hmm. 5 years ago for his 50th birthday party, everybody who was anybody was there, right? Diva, what are you saying? Is accusing people of being biased based on perception? That's true. People do that. Just like those people who perceive girls as fast due to who they hung around. I'm not quite sure what you're trying to say to me. Sandy's Chance. You gotta tell me what you're trying to say to me. I'm not catching it. Yeah. But to clear up for everybody out there that's in the chat, and welcome in the building. We appreciate y'all being here. Royaire and I are sharing this live on both of our channels. So please hit the like button on both our channels. If you're not subscribed to either one of our channels, we appreciate if you subscribe. So let me lay out a little more groundwork, Royaire, as to what I'm saying, and then you can talk again. So this is what Diva is saying. Diva has said this with Diddy too. Where there's smoke, there's fire, right? Mm-hmm. Nobody hangs out. Let's just say I'm a drug addict, Royaire, and you are not. You're not going to be hanging out with me on a regular basis, and I'm sitting down, snorting, popping, drinking, doing all of that. If that's not your gig, you're not going to do that. You're not going to hang with me. These two have hung together and did business together for years, okay, decades. And so I'm just saying that not just Jay Z, but I'm saying a ton of others who've been to his parties and who have hung out with him, they knew about Diddy and his ways. So I'm just saying there's not too many friends that I would be hanging out with, and what they do, I'm not in agreement with. So if we heard little buzzwords and we're not in the industry about Diddy over the years, I'm sure everyone in the industry heard more than what we have heard. So Best IBK, all the Buzbee cases are fraudulent. But it's interesting. Thank you, Best IBK. It's interesting that many people are saying that now, right? That Tony Buzbee is a fraud. But what's more interesting to me is when Tony came out and said that Diddy violated a 9-year-old, a 13-year-old, all the hangingest lawsuits against Diddy that Tony Buzbee came out with, everybody agreed and everybody called him a monster and said he should never see the light of day. But now we got one lawsuit. There was a ton against Diddy. And matter of fact, Tony Buzbee said he got 150 clients. And he already dropped a bunch of lawsuits against Diddy. But now he drops one against Jay Z. Actually, it's not even a single one against Jay Z. He added Jay Z to one of the Diddy ones. And everybody now is awake and their eyes are open. And Buzbee is a whole liar. All I'm saying is, if Buzbee is a whole liar and a whole fraud, then every single case that he came out with against Diddy needs to go in the trash too. Because you can't say, oh, he just lied on Jay Z, but he's telling the truth when it comes to Diddy. If Tony Buzbee is a fraud, then he's a fraud. And we need to throw out every lawsuit that he has, including the ones against Diddy. Go ahead, Royaire.
I would agree. I would totally agree. And let me preface, I'm still in question of this, specific lawsuit of the 13-year-old. In my opinion, now I do believe that, I believe a lot of the things that I hear about Diddy. And, I believe that there are some things out here about Jay Z that I have not heard before that I would believe are true if I heard them. But a child, I just can't see that. I can't see that from any of these individuals. I just, and like I said, I stand on my point. I think it's more believable for Diddy because of everything else that is going on. And I think now that they've thrown Jay Z's name in here, because we have not seen Jay Z in such a big scandal like this, it's kind of harder for people to accept that. That's just my perception. But I just personally, I don't believe either of these individuals have done that. I would just, in my mind, I just can't fathom that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, let's add more to it. The Jane Doe also claims that a celebrity female was standing there watching too. So I have been consistent with this. And I promise you, where you're not, you personally, and not necessarily whoever's in the chat, yeah. I promise you, everybody was dragging me for filth. But I was consistent when I said that he didn't do this alone, that other people heard about this thing, and why aren't these other people being named and brought down just like he is? Because I don't care if you watched him do something like that. To me, it's horrific as he is.
Yes.
So now this woman is saying, so I'm gonna take a guess and say that they're not naming the female celebrity who watched because the female celebrity got paid the people off. But see, what people don't understand when it comes to the law and the lawsuit, you named a female celebrity watch. If this thing goes to trial in the court, guess what, Royaire? This is law 101. The female celebrity is going to be named.
She's going to be summoned to court. Trust and believe that.
She's going to be named. She will have to be named because you can't sit there and tell me you want to name Diddy, you want to name Jay Z, but because this other person paid you off, you're not going to name them. It's not going to happen. Their name is going to come out and then it's going to be part of public record. This whole thing is a hot, flaming mess. But Jay Z fighting back is indirectly helping Diddy.
Well, Jay Z. Jay Z has to do what he has to do at the end of the day to defend himself, though. He has a legacy to protect. He has a family to protect, and he is saying that he is innocent, and he has to do what he has to do. I truly believe that his statement was a powerful statement in which I said from the beginning, if these are real, true charges, file criminal charges. The fact that we are doing these civil lawsuits, it bothers me. It really, really does. And as I said earlier, that's been my standpoint in all of these situations. If these things are truly true, if these individuals have truly done this to you, first of all, let's name each and every individual that was a part of this situation. Let's start there first. Let's ramble off the names one by one. Secondly, we need criminal charges filed because these individuals do not need to be a part of society. They are not healthy for our society. And if they'll do it to you, they'll do it to somebody else. So why would you not want these individuals, off the streets? So it just makes me question, and I hate to say that because I don't want to question what has happened to anybody, but it just makes me think, when we go about it in this route, especially in where we are with the Me Too movement, Diva, and all of the other cases that we have seen that have gone, in a positive way for the individuals who have experienced those things. I would just think that we are really in a place where you can open up your mouth and say, this individual, and this individual did this to me, and I want criminal charges file. Now, not to say that they can't have a civil charge either, but I feel that criminal charges should be the first thing on the list to get this thing started and going.
I agree with you 100%, Royaire. Now, the ones that something happened to them as adults, their statute of limitations have run out, so they have to do civil cases, right?
Yeah.
But if you was violated and you was 13 at the time, you can do still, I believe, a criminal charge. And that's why Jay Z said, stop the nonsense and file criminal charges. Stop the nonsense and file criminal charges. And, he's Tony Buzbee, way before this Diddy thing, they said has been known for doing this to high profile celebrities and stuff. And, he got his clients a quick payday. Well, he bumped up against the wrong people this time. He bumped up against the Carters. And like Jay Z said, he ain't having it. He said, you want to say you're a Marine, but you got no honor and no integrity. And none whatsoever. Because again, if I had a 13-year-old, a person that come into my office and told me that this happened to them at 13, no, I'm going to say, you know what? Let's go to the police first.
Straight to the police. And here's the thing. I have to say this, when I was growing up, there was these commercials. This was all before these streaming systems, Ray, and all of that. There was these commercials saying, it's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your kids are? I'm confused. It's just confusing me how these 13-year-olds, these 9-year-olds, these 10-year-olds end up at a Diddy party to even be violated like this. Yeah.
So I got a question for their parents too. Your 13-year-old is not home. And then this one said she called her father, that she went to a gas station and called her father, and her father picked her up. I'm just like, and when your father picked you up, it's a mess. Yes, the parents need to be investigated. Yes.
Yeah. The parents need to be investigated, if, in my opinion, if charges can be filed. I feel like charges need to be filed on the parents as well, because this is child neglect. What was your child doing in an adult party? They're saying that this happened at an after party of the VMAs in the 2000s. What is a child doing anywhere at that type of event at all? That's no place for a child. And questions need to be asked. We need to also find out, were there payoffs then? Were parents accepting money at that time? If it was brought up to individuals, we need to do a deep dive and really figure out what is going on in not just this situation, but all of these celebrity situations and non-celebrity situations who have individuals who were messing with children. We need to know what was going on. Where were the parents? What state, was the child in mentally, emotionally? There are a lot of questions that need to be asked. And, like you said, Diva, this draws into question everything that this individual has done. Maybe really his whole career, if we really want to talk seriously. What have you built your whole career off of? Is this what you do? Go around accusing people of things that possibly may or, have not have happened? This is just a very interesting situation, but I think that it is going to bring to light a bigger awareness, because now there is a stain, if you may, on the Carter family. I think it's going to be a lot more of awareness of, what's going on in this industry and who's a part of this, sexualized industry, if you may.
Yes. Listen, I back up. Now, many people, they go in and out with Jaguar, right? One minute they like Jaguar the truth. The next minute they like Jaguar this. The next minute they like Jaguar that. Well, Jaguar a few weeks ago was on Piers Morgan. And when she was on Piers Morgan, she said that, Jay-Z and Beyonce was a nasty couple. I'm just putting it lightly. They got that shut down off of Piers Morgan. It's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot. And I mean, can we really consider her a credible source at being everything that we have seen her do and go through? I mean, it just draws questions. Everything is just a question at this point. And we really have to, if anything about our judicial system now means anything, we really have to pay attention to the evidence that is brought forth in these stories. We have to pay close attention to the details of the story, and I just really, really struggle that we waited so long to drop this specific name and possibly another name. I just really struggle.
It wasn't necessarily her, right? The Jane Doe. Is
right.
Tony Buzbee. But Tony Buzbee, he got mad, and he did it because he was mad that Jay Z just didn't write a check. And he said,
you would still have to be in some kind of agreement as a client.
Yeah, but you know what? I think these victims right now, they're following 100% of what their lawyers said because they just want their payday at this point. I'm going to drop the link to see.
I would like to hear what others have to say tonight.
To see what y'all want to say, if y'all want to come up and talk about
as
this.
People are getting ready to come in, Auntie Diva. We want to remind everybody to make sure you're hitting that like button on both of the channels. If you're not a subscriber, make sure you're subscribing. We want to welcome you all. We do recaps as well together. Tomorrow we will be recapping Married to Medicine. So make sure you check them out. I know they're on right now, but if you don't catch them now, make sure you hit that record button or catch it on Peacock tomorrow. And then on Tuesday, we will be recapping Housewives of Potomac as well. So just make sure you stay on the lookout and join us. And we appreciate each of you for joining us tonight.
Hey, Julius, you're in the building. What are your thoughts?
Yes.
Hey, I agree with every word Jay-Z said. Because the only thing that I heard, and I'm going to be straight up blunt about it, is when I don't know if this is true. This is just speculation, but this is what I heard, and it's from Jim Jones's girl, Chrissy Limpkin. That her and Jay-Z both dated when they was in their 20s, back when they was running the street. Now that's what I heard, and whatever. But other than that, compared to the Diddy thing, I haven't heard anything to that caliber. I'm gonna be frank. Like with all these people wanting to come out and stuff like that, okay, well I need to see receipts. As the late Whitney says, show me the receipts. Show me the receipts. Because I'm just not gonna blindly follow behind accusations that I don't even see not even a tiny bit of proof that can make it credible in my mind. I am a SA survivor.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, you do have memories of the incident, right?
Mm-hmm.
However, you need to have proof to back up your claims. Some of these individuals, Diva, we talk about it on the panel all the time. And
Mm-hmm.
what have I started to say? I am tired. I'm tired of all these naysayers coming out and not backing up these claims. This person out of Texas. So you come out with a 13-year-old. What about the 9-year-old? It's been 2.5 months since he said that. Where is it at, Tony? That because your persona and everything else is a fraud. Miss me with it. And you're just mad because Jay-Z's bringing the heat right back to you. Like, let's just call it what it is. Jay-Z has his right to defend himself, and he's like, ain't nobody getting money from me until you can prove these claims in the court of law. And if I did something to you, why did you not go to the courthouse to have me charged? Why wasn't I served?
Mm.
So he's
DeRay
he's
Jones
ready to
said
come out
Tony
with it.
Buzbee is another Tyrone Blackburn.
For real, he is. He is. And
Mm-hmm.
Tyrone Blackburn is a whole nother hot mess. Key point, the Little Rod lawsuit. A hot mess that was.
Mm. You on mute, Royaire.
I was just reading the comments.
Oh, okay.
Yes. I'm really curious to see what evidence that they are going to provide, to back up, these stories, as he said, this happened in the 2000s. If she was 13, you can still file a criminal lawsuit. So, if you're that serious about it, I agree with Jay Z. I totally agree that a criminal lawsuit needs to be filed and it needs to go before peers of our jury. And, we need to see what evidence is brought forward and make an opinion based off of that. And the same for Diddy as well. I think the same thing. We need to look at the evidence, see what is provided, bring it forth before the peers of jury, and go forward going, in that direction. But I also need the full story, lay out all of these individuals. Let's stop dropping names here and there. This is really going to be this is nothing to play with. First of all, let's say that first of all, there are real victims out here who to this day are experiencing this in their real everyday lives. So for us to be talking about this and for us to be bringing this forward on such a broad stage, I really feel that it needs to be taken seriously and that, the evidence needs to be seriously there. And I really do personally feel that a criminal case needs to be brought forward. I just really feel that way. Let's get serious about it. Let's stop talking about money. Let's talk about the real issue at hand. There are real monsters out here, not in just the entertainment industry around the world, but they have an issue and they need to be off the streets. Them being free and allowed to do whatever they want to do and say whatever they want to say and act however they want to act. If it's just unacceptable. And something needs to be done. And I just really hope that this lawyer is not, acting just to, extort people and get money, as Jay Z has said. But if he is, let the truth be revealed and criminal charges need to be brought against him.
And
You're destroying people's reputation.
Royaire, you hit the nail on the head with your whole entire commentary. And this is my thing as to why my empathy, compassion, and patience is winding down, is because all these lawsuits have a common denominator: money. What about the other stuff? No, but you worried about money. That's why, like, I had my eye up, like,
Well, the thing is, as I stated, some of them have no other choice, right? It has to be a civil lawsuit because the statute of limitations have run out. But like Jay Z said, with this particular one with him and the 13-year-old, that's a whole nother ball game. Like he said, you accusing me of messing with a 13-year-old, that's serious stuff. Now, I had said even before it came out and said, if you go back in time, I have a video where I connected it back. I said Jay Z was the John Doe that filed this lawsuit against Tony Buzbee because it was the same law firm, and I connected all the dots. I'm just saying that there's a lot. This thing is loaded. And I told you early on the reason why Diddy is not going to say any name. None of these celebrities are going to talk because indirectly they can be implicated just for being there and maybe seeing something and not saying anything. And so they're not going to tell on themselves. And because they're not going to tell on themselves, they're not going to say anything about Diddy. But they are distancing themselves. But if I knew this man was a monster for decades, what do I look like? Let me tell you fact. The Love album, which I want to say that Love album came out in 2023. This is not Diva put in 2110. Look how many celebrities who now claim they don't know Diddy, they ain't mess with him like that. They're on the Love album. They're on the Love album.
Don Richard being one of them.
Go ahead.
Don being one of them, but yes, she was so uncomfortable.
That's what I'm saying, Julius. So you gotta pick a struggle. You gotta pick a struggle. And what struggle are you going to pick? So it's a mess. And I said it from the door, and I will continue to say it. He's not going to name any names. And these people aren't going to say anything because they would have to implicate themselves. And even if they were to get immunity, do you really want, just like Jay Z said right now, he got to sit down and explain to his kids that his name is being attached to violating a 13-year-old. So the damage right there in and of itself is done. And then he's doing this in conjunction with the fact that people have been saying that Jay Z is next for months now. Now, let me just show you this post on why Natasha K. Jay Z's legal team files extortion lawsuit against Tony Buzbee over alleged baseless and malicious claims. For the record, he told us the lawsuit was first filed against Diddy on October the 20th. Buzbee filed an amendment complaint today, adding Jay Z legal name Sean Carter as a defendant. Okay, so he amended the suit, right? And then the lawsuit says the attack was witnessed by a female celebrity, but does not identify her. It includes photos of containers that Buzbee indicates are from the night of the attack. So you got containers from 20 years ago? A 13-year-old saved this stuff? But she ran out to a gas station and all of that? I don't know what
it's talking about. It's a trash bag scenario to me. Like, you mean to tell me, now we didn't have iPhones in 2000. This is when the alleged incident allegedly occurred. We were still using cameras. And camera phones weren't a thing. They didn't come out until 2001, 2002. Make it make sense.
The pictures, though, could have been resulted from several different, ways or reasons or whatever the case might be. So it doesn't necessarily mean it was taken from an iPhone, but
and she just could have kept those items, and they just took a picture of the items as well.
Right. Mm-hmm.
This is a hot mess. Like I said from the beginning, even when they said that Diddy, when they accused Diddy of this, I I was not stable, and I never made a comment or a statement on anything about it because I was I just can't see that. I see a lot of things, but that a child, especially, you know, and I know that it happens before, even with individuals that have children, but I don't know. I can't even wrap my mind around these individuals doing that. I just can't see it. As I said, I feel like the reason that the story has took so well with Diddy was just because of everything else that has been going on. You know, I think that Cassie video dropping with Diddy, you know, in the hotel situation, I think that really solidified a guilty verdict for Diddy just across the board, if you may. Does that make sense? I think people, once they seen that, they was just like, okay, he's just this horrible monster and there's nothing that he won't do. I think that is why it has taken so much life with Diddy, you know, and I'm curious to see how this is going to portray Jay Z in the public eye, because like I said, normally when one person feel comfortable to come out with something, 9 times out of 10 another person is going to come if something has truly happened. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. And let me just share a screen again really quickly and just show just a little bit more information. So defendant Sean Carter is a male who, on information, this is from the lawsuit, and belief, maintains residence in both New York and Los Angeles. Defendant Carter is more commonly known by his industry name of Jay Z. Carter was identified in the plaintiff's original complaint as Celebrity A. Prior to the filing of this amended complaint, Carter received a letter from plaintiff's counsel requesting a mediation to resolve this matter. Upon present information and belief, Jay Z responded to said letter by not only filing an utterly frivolous lawsuit, but by also orchestrating a conspiracy of harassment, bullying, and intimidation against the plaintiff lawyers, their families, employees, and former associates in an attempt to silence plaintiff from naming Jay Z herein. This effort was meant to scare plaintiff and discredit her counsel. The effort failed. Indeed, plaintiff chose to file this amendment as a result of the egregious conduct perpetrated by Carter. Defender Carter is like Combs, a widely successful rapper and businessman. Carter and Combs have a long history together. Carter met and began collaborating musically with Combs in the 1990s. Combs and Carter rose together to the very top of the hip-hop industry in terms of fame and influence by the end of that decade. Combs and Carter were not simply occasional collaborators in the music industry. The two men developed a close friendship that has been well documented from the late 1990s to the present. Together, they attended countless music industry events for each other, business ventures, parties, and after parties. Indeed, the two are apparently so close that Combs stated in 2023 that Carter is the only person other than Combs' mother who is allowed to call him by his legal name, Sean. In 2000, near the height of their fame, power, and influence, Combs and Carter attended the 2000 Video Music Awards in New York City. Afterwards, Combs hosted an after party for many of the most famous celebrities in the music and entertainment industries, including Carter, which is where the events alleged in this complaint occurred. My lawyer, and this is where Jay Z, we read this piece already, what Jay Z wrote in response to all of this. And remember, when before Tony Buzbee, the John Doe was named, I connected that John Doe was most likely Jay Z. This is a lot going on. Like I said, these two are well documented friendship. It's messy. Wayne, you're in the building. Did you want to say anything?
You know, I just find it really, really hard to believe that, okay, first of all, you'd have to believe that these two, you know, music moguls, blah, 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 are into children. And what I mean by that is that both of them got the same mind, okay? I find it hard to believe that a child that young, if had experienced something traumatizing as that at 13, somebody's parents would have known something. Okay, meaning that if your child came home and said, Mom or Dad, this happened to me. Okay, or even if you didn't know your child was subdued, wasn't saying crying, something's wrong, right? Okay, and then if you knew that had happened, you'd be taken to the emergency room. To me, a lot of people would have to be complicit in order to pull this off. I mean, and I'm not saying that it didn't happen. I'm just saying, for me, it's just hard to believe, that a 13-year-old child, this has happened, and ain't nobody said nothing for years. I just don't think, and I'm not saying Diddy ain't done some despicable things or whatever, especially after seeing that Cassie video, blah, 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 blah. But I'm like, Royaire, I just don't think that, and knowing that, and you'd have to believe that everybody at the party you invited, the stars and everything, are into this. You know what I mean? I mean, you'd have to really, I know they say birds of a feather flock together, but you'd really have to believe that these people are into this and want to see this and keep coming back for more. If they're violating children like this. And it's like you say, they say all this, but ain't nobody produced nothing. And if these people got tapes or are withholding information of against a child, they wrong. I just don't believe celebrities were there watching a 13-year-old be violated, or I could be a little naive. I just don't think people risking all their money for something like that. I'm done.
Thanks. We'll close out and stay connected to this story. I'll just say this: the word the talks about Jay Z have been out there. I'm not saying he did anything to this 13-year-old. I'm not saying something did or did not happen to the 13-year-old. I don't know. But what I do know is talks about Jay Z liking young girls has been out there. Talks about Jay Z allegedly doing outrageous things has been out there. There's been smoke. There's been smoke about Jay Z. So just like there was smoke about Diddy. But it seems like we the people like for a bomb to drop first before we be like, okay, I believe something happened. Katrina, your thoughts? You're in the building.
Hey y'all, happy Sunday. Sorry for the news that we going through. But anyway, Wayne, I hear what you're saying. But you got to realize this. These people fought back and allowed Aaliyah to be violated. She was at the age of 14. You got to think about all these people that was flying out to the Epstein Island, how young those kids were. And it wasn't just one celebrity, it wasn't just two celebrities. And I want them to drop those names out that Epstein book, so we would know the people that was going back and forth on his island, that was flying back and forth on his plane, which Trump is flying on his plane as we speak right now. But I want the names of those people that was violating those kids as well, because those was children as well. So when we say they sit back and watch, yes, they've been sit back watching for years. You have to go with Elvis Presley. How old was Priscilla Presley when he got with her? You have to go with what's his name? The country singer that died in an accident. I mean, unlived himself in an accident in Alabama. These people have been doing this forever. These people have been messing. You have to go back to. You can go back to your grandparents when the dad is 16 or 17 and the grandmama is 13 and 14. These people have been doing this forever. But what I'm saying is we cannot overlook it because of who these people are to say that they're not going to do this, because we don't know what these people would do. We have seen this time and time again. We were saying this about Bill Cosby. Everybody thought Bill Cosby was the greatest dad, the biggest man on TV, loved him. Every Thursday night, everybody was glued to the Cosby Show. Here it comes, 20 years later, when this man got one foot in the grave, another one on a banana peel. These folks coming out saying that he did this, but you was at the Playboy Mansion at the age of 15 and 16. Everybody know what goes down at the Playboy Mansion. So, I mean, this stuff been happening for years, and they've sit back and watched it. If Hugh Hefner was alive, he would probably be in court by now.
He would never be in court, Katrina. You want to know why? Because let me back that up. Let me say it this way. Things that they are accusing Diddy of, people said went down in the Playboy Mansion for years.
Mm-hmm.
You giving feedback. I just had to mute you for a minute. So, and Hugh Hefner lived his life, had his Playboy magazine and his Playboy Mansion. It never caught a charge. But some people claim that Bill Cosby did what he did to them up in the Playboy Mansion.
That's what I'm saying. They was at the Playboy Mansion when they was at the age of 15 and 16. So they said it happened at the Playboy Mansion, but you at the Playboy Mansion at the age of 15 and 16. And like y'all was saying, well, where was the parents? Because what these parents do is they push the kids out here to be with these celebrities and be with these stars. And as they do with the basketball player, they push them on these basketball players and whatsoever. And they end up taking all their money from them. And then they be sitting back looking like fools. But what I'm saying, if you at the play, everybody know what went down at the Playboy Mansion. Everybody know that people was doing the snow during the Playboy Mansion through the 70s in Miami and everywhere. It's just so much been going on. But like we said, we can't say what these people won't do because who these people are. Because we're not living these people's lives. And we see it time and time again how kids get abused and people get away with it. I'm not saying that he did this. I'm not saying that they did this, but it came out of facts. R. Kelly was messing with Aaliyah when she was 14 years old. They say, well, we not for sure, that Jay Z messed with Foxy Brown at the age of 15, 16. So we can't say what these folks not going to do and what they don't sit back and watch and let keep happening. Because we see it happening all the time. But like you say, they keep their mouth closed, just like the Playboy Mansion. They know what was going on at the Playboy Mansion, but did anybody say anything? No, they let it happen. They let it happen and let it happen. Then they want to come back out and sue. But y'all allowed this to happen.
Hold on, Katrina. Let me play the old thing from Tasha K.
Then Diddy. They had every party together. They get money together. They best friends. 50 was out the group. He was a threat to both of them. But he played it cool because he knew these niggas had bodies. So now that it's safe, you would think with them being best friends, Jay Z would have said something in defense of his best friend. Yo, man, he ain't do that shit. Something. But no, this nigga got quiet and started touring with his wife. All them years he had been cheating on Beyonce. Now he with Beyonce everywhere she go. She in the bathroom with Beyonce. Bitch, she walks in the bathroom. He bumping into the bitch. Oh, where you going? Where we going? And 50 is just warming up. You know, he's producing a documentary on Diddy and Jay Z.
I just wanted to play that real quick. Those two was thick as thieves.
You so petty.
Royaire, see, that's why I love you, Royaire. You know I am. You know I am.
I love it. I love
it. You know I'm petty. You know I'm petty.
Yes. I mean, but you know, like you said, the facts are the facts. You know, I do believe in the saying that birds of the feather flock together. But I do believe there are some relationships that people have that they are in relationship with those individuals, but they don't do what those individuals do, or they don't pertain themselves to that specific behavior. And not to say that that was a situation with Jay Z and Diddy, but that's just the viewpoint that I'm having. That's just my experience, and I'm not big in the hip hop world, so let me say that, I'm just going based off of what I have seen and what I have read, with my own eyes. And as we have stated, people have said things about Jay Z, and I've heard stories, but they've been, whispers. Unfortunately, the things with Diddy has been a little bit louder. We've been hearing those things, more often, if you may. And so that's why I just think that it was able to stick for Diddy more so, and why people were not in much of an uproar. But now that, someone of another big magnitude has been named, and we don't see that same behavior regularly, it's a little bit harder for others to believe.
Yeah, understood. Julius, your closing thoughts? All right, I don't know if Julius is there. Katrina, any closing thoughts?
He did it. Like a roly poly looking. I'm just playing. I'm just making mess with Royaire. We'll see what happened. Like I said, a lot of these people do all this stuff and it be behind closed doors forever. And then when the people come out, they say we didn't do it. I don't know that person, never seen that person. And next time you see them in a picture with that person. So we'll see how it plays out and what happens. If you ain't did nothing, don't worry about it. You'll get away with it. A lot of them have gotten away with it before, but we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. That's all I got.
Thank you. Wayne, your final thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with Katrina. I mean, we don't know these people and stuff like that. And I really didn't grow up in that era. So all those things about Jay Z, I didn't, I wasn't aware of. That doesn't matter. But so the reason I said that, I just find it hard to believe. Yeah, I find it hard to believe. I find it hard to believe that anybody on the panel would do anything nefarious, whatever. Because I don't know y'all. But I find it highly improbable, damn near impossible. But from what I know of y'all, of anybody, okay, they're good people, So I'm just saying, I don't know, since we don't know them, and you can kind of just, but what you're seeing in the media, what you see in social media and stuff like that, But if that did happen, to make me think that it happened, hear him. It's all a Jane Doe or this, that, if this stuff really happened to you, come on out, and tell it, I don't, but I just find it hard to believe, but that's just me.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, we want to thank y'all for coming through and supporting us as we did this joint venture together. Go ahead, Roya, you close us out.
Yes, let's all please be mindful. As I said earlier, this is still something that we see happening to this day. There are real victims who are, to this day experiencing this unfortunate, behavior. And so for those who are experiencing this behavior, feel free to reach out to someone, tell someone, expose this, stand in your truth, know that people support you, there was a number at the end of the articles that we read. So, feel free if this is you in any of these situations, feel free to reach out to someone and tell someone. We want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. Remember to hit that like button. As I said earlier, everybody is innocent until proven guilty. So, we'll see going forward what evidence is brought forth. Tomorrow night, join us at whatever time we drop it. No.
Okay, Royaire, come on out with the PSA. Okay, I hear you.
But stay tuned to our channels. If you're not a subscriber, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell on all. That way you will know tomorrow what time we're recapping Married to Medicine, and then Tuesday, Real Housewives of Potomac. And then also remember to join Diva at 8:30, between 8 and 8:30 for trending topics as well. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Hit the like button on both channels, subscribe, and that notification bell on all. And we will see y'all again tomorrow evening. Good night.
Good night, y'all.